Welcome back. A day in the life of a Cowboy fan that lives and works in the city of Philadelphia, yes, home of the Eagles, podcast episode 2. And for today's episode, we got a lot to talk about. Obviously, it's the Eagles versus the Cowboys week, so work has been jumping. I got a story time for you guys already. We'll talk about it's Thursday, so we'll talk about Thursday night football. And the teams, if you were a better, you might want to keep your money in your pocket because it's a bad matchup. I want to talk about the MVP race and the Super Bowl odds. But right before I hopped on here and started recording, I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw something highly disrespectful, right? So let me pull it up. It was from Fox Sports, and it says, who are the best quarterbacks in the NFL? Our NFL writers rank their top 10 thoughts. Now, this is some BS. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, if this list was preseason, for the top 8 would have been accurate. 9 and 10 it would be like, what? Because one's a rookie. Another one's Brock Purdy. Nobody thought Brock Purdy would be doing what he's doing. Yes, he's been good, but we'll get to that. So, straight off the bat, this list is garbage. I'm sorry, Fox Sports, but this is bias and a disgrace, right? So, let's go over the top 10 NFL quarterbacks according to Fox Sports, right? Number 1, we can all guess it, Pat Mahomes. Mahomes boy, definitely the top quarterback in the NFL right now. In my honest opinion, he might be the number 1 quarterback that ever played football when it's all said and done, right? So number 1, they got it right. Number 2, you have Joe Burrows. Now I know Joe was hurt. What am I talking about? How is he the number 2 quarterback in the NFL right now? What are we talking about? And for the season, he shouldn't be 2. He started off the season trash. We thought, he's stealing money right now, right? Then he picked it up a little bit, but now he's hurt again. How is Joe Burrow number 2 based off this season? If we're just basing off a career or, what we think they'll become, yeah, sure, for sure, number 2. But this season, Joe Burrow should not be number 2. Number 3, they got Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm not going to lie, the Ravens look tough. I got a parlay in right now for the AFC winners. I got the Ravens. I got them in the Super Bowl for representing the AFC because if you look at the AFC, Chiefs look garbage. Bengals, no. Bills, ill. Dolphins, maybe. Chargers, disappointment. I got either the Ravens or the Dolphins coming out the AFC. But that's Ravens because of Lamar Jackson. So I like Lamar Jackson at his position, at his spot on the top 10 list. Number 4, Jalen Hurts. This year, and I'm not going to be biased. I'm a Cowboy fan. I ain't going to be biased. Number 4 quarterback in the NFL, Jalen Hurts. That might be a little bit too high. I know the Eagles are they're 10-2. They've been good. First half, they've been horrible. Second half, they've been a second half team. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is good. But to be number 4 quarterback in NFL as of right now for this season, I'm thinking more 5-6 range. Now, this is where the problem starts. Number 5, they have Josh Allen. I know Josh, he throws a lot of touchdowns. He's crazy in NFL fantasy because I got him on my squad. He's dropping 30 points every other week. But they have Josh Allen, number 5 quarterback for this season, and Dak Prescott, number 6. Now, I'm not being biased, right? Dak, for sure, is over Josh Allen this year when it comes to top 10 quarterbacks. For sure, easily. Dak is over Joe Burrow. Dak is over Jalen Hurts. Dak is over Lamar Jackson. If we're talking about top 10 quarterbacks this season as of right now, what are we, week 14, week 13? Dak might be the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. Straight up. No biasness. To have Dak number 6 on this list, behind Josh Allen, behind Joe Burrow, behind Jalen Hurts, Lamar and Mahomes, whatever. You say what you want to say. It's trash. right? Number 7, they got Justin Herbert. Now, if you look at the Chargers record, they're super trash. It's to the point where it's a compliment to the Cowboys because they have Kellen Moore as their OC. Everybody thought we were the number one scoring offense these past 3 years because of Kellen Moore. They said, oh, Kellen Moore's gone. Watch the Chargers light it up with the Super Bowl and watch the Dallas Cowboys tank. But guess what? Guess who's the leading offensive scoring in the NFL? Guess who isn't in the top 15? Yeah, but that's not Justin Herbert's fault. I saw something on Twitter that was like, yo, Justin Herbert gotta do better. Look at his bad throw. And it was just showing plays where he kept hitting his receivers right in the chest and they kept dropping it. So Justin Herbert, I don't know what's going on over there. We know he gets stats, but their record is horrendous. Number 8, they got Tua. That's disrespectful. Now, I know they have Tyreek Hill, and you just throw the ball up and he'll go get it and score. But Tua should not be number 8 on this list. He should be higher. Number 9, they got the Rook, CJ Stroud. He's very impressive. He is very impressive. He's throwing 300-yard games every week to the point where when I'm getting ready to pick my parlays, I'm like, yo, I should put CJ Stroud for 350 and 3 touchdowns. But I'm like, nah, he had it last week. He's not going to keep doing it. And what do you know? He threw for another 345 with 4 touchdowns. So CJ Stroud has definitely earned his spot on the top 10 quarterback list in NFL as of right now. And number 10, you got the boy Brock Purdy, who put a whooping on the Eagles. Shout out to you, Brock. A couple weeks ago, we was enemies. But hey, you beat up the Eagles for me. I respect that. Next time you play us, it's beef again. So just going back through the Fox Sports top 10 quarterbacks, they got Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Jalen, Josh Allen, Dak, Herbert, Tua, CJ Stroud, and Brock. Horrendous list, right? So I don't have nothing written down. If I had to go top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now for this season, I got Dak number 1, no bias. Look at the numbers. Wait, do I got to pull up the numbers? Dak leads the NFL in passing touchdowns. He has 26 passing touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. And you guys all were saying he's a turnover machine. Listen here. Josh Allen has 13 picks. Who knows how many Jalen Hurts has? I know he's in double digits. Who else? Pat Mahomes has 10 picks. Jordan Love has 10 picks. Tua has 10 picks. All these guys has almost twice as many picks as Dak. But y'all was on him hard before the season. Now what's going on? Y'all ain't talking about Josh Allen. Y'all never talk about Josh Allen interceptions problem. But that's besides the point. He leads the NFL in passing touchdowns. What else about Dak? Last year's MVP, if you remember, was Patrick Mahomes. This time last year, Dak and Pat Mahomes both 8-3. This time last year, Pat Mahomes had 2,917 passing yards. Dak has 2,935 passing yards. Last year, this time, Pat Mahomes had 21 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. I just told you, Dak has 23 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. 26 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Pass rating, Dak is at 107.4. Last year at this time, Pat Mahomes was 96.3. And completion percentage, Dak is at 70%. Last year this time, Pat Mahomes was at 60. Sound like an MVP candidate to me, which leads me to my next segment. The MVP race. Now let's be honest. It's crazy from way different angles, right? Number 1, they got the top 3. Depending on you look at, some has Dak the favorite, some has Brock Purdy the favorite, and then you got Jalen Hurts third, right? It's very disrespectful that CMC and Tyreek Hill are not on these lists. That goes to show you that the MVP is a quarterback war, right? So if we weren't doing that, I probably have to give if Tyreek Hill keeps doing what he's doing and gets 2,000 receiving yards, 20 plus touchdowns, he'd be my MVP without a doubt, right? But they're not doing that, right? So in my opinion, the top 5 in no order, it should be Dak, Hill, Purdy, I guess, CMC for sure, and Lamar. I don't think Jalen Hurts should be in the top 3 or the top 5. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a hater, but he's been playing rough. He's been a turnover machine, just like Dak was last year. I call a spade a spade. Last year, Dak was a turnover prone quarterback. This year is Jalen Hurts. Now, Jalen Hurts hasn't played well enough to recover from turnovers, especially in the second half, and win tough games. They beat the Bills and the Chiefs and the Dolphins. So don't get it twisted. Jalen Hurts is still that guy. I just don't think he's playing at an MVP caliber season thus far. And now, since we talked about top 10 quarterbacks, we talked about MVP race, let's talk about another tweet I came across. It was the Super Bowl odds to win, right? Day in the life of a Dallas Cowboy fan. How in the world are we not in the top four? How are we not a top four team, according to PFF, to win the Super Bowl? They have, with the highest ranking, highest percentage, the 49ers. They have the 49ers at a 20% chance to win the Super Bowl, rightfully so. The 49ers look dangerous, right? And it's not because of Brock Purdy. Now, Brock Purdy is doing his job, right? But the 49ers have the best roster in the NFL. And you may ask, how do they got all these players? How do they have CMC? How they got IU? They got Kittle. They got Debo. They got 2 top 10 picks at defensive ends. Their defensive tackles is nasty. They got the number 1 linebacker in the league. Secondary is cool. How do they have all these pieces? How can they afford all these pieces? I'm going to tell you why. When your quarterback is only owed 2 Happy Meals, a large Sprite, and the kids' meal, you can afford that. That's the main reason why the 49ers have this roster. They can afford this roster because their quarterback is getting the league minimum. He was the last pick of the draft. So, hey, they're capitalizing on that. Go hate. Get over it, right? And with that being said, this is what you tell Brock Purdy. You tell Brock Purdy the same thing you told Mike Winshaw off of Friday Night Lights, who played with Bowie Miles. Yo, Brock, just exist in those 3 seconds between getting the snap and handing off the ball to CMC. Just exist in those 5 seconds with getting that the snap in the shotgun and throwing a bullet pass to IU, who's going to get open on that slant route. Kittle on that wheel route. Just don't lose us the game, right? If you can do that, I'm not actually win us the game. Just don't lose us the game. When you got a quarterback that, hey, coach, just don't lose the game. Just throw the ball wide open, hand the ball off. That's success because you have a roster that who can, their roster is quarterbackless, bulletproof, right? I don't know if that makes sense, but let me explain it to you. Their roster is so good that you can have a below average quarterback and they still have a chance, or as PFF says, the best chance to make the Super Bowl. Let's think about it. A couple years ago, they had Jimmy Garoppolo. Trash. Didn't they definitely made it to the NFC Championship game. I don't know if they made it to the Super Bowl or not, but why? Because of that roster. And since then, that roster has gotten better. So I'm not totally mad that the 49ers have the best chances right now because they do. They spanked the Eagles. And the Eagles been beating tough teams. I said it. They beat the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Chiefs. And the 49ers came in their house and spanked them. So, rightfully so, the 49ers should have the best percentage of chances of making a Super Bowl. Number 2 on this list is the Eagles. I don't know. Being a Cowboy fan, I'm going to be real with you. Last year, Eagles had me terrified. And I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. Last year, the Eagles, I'm like, dang, yo, they tough. They defense is everywhere. Jalen Hurts, who, could have won the MVP. He was playing crazy out of his mind, the tush push. I'm like, yo, last year, Eagles look bulletproof. I'm surprised they lost the Super Bowl. But this year, I ain't scared. I am not scared. And I do not think they should have 18% chance of going to the Super Bowl. If anybody, the second team who should have the highest chances of making the Super Bowl in the NFC is the Cowboys. I'm not being biased. I am not. But according to PFF, you got the 49ers with the highest chance. You got the Eagles second. Now, third is the Baltimore Ravens. And like I said earlier in the podcast, the Baltimore Ravens is my pick for the AFC to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They're at 16%. And then the last team, which is a disgrace. I mean, I guess you have to pin them up there because they have the best quarterback to ever touch a football. The Chiefs. They got the Chiefs with a 12% chance. And if you're thinking about it, like I said, I think the top two teams in the AFC are the Ravens and the Dolphins. And then that third team would be the Chiefs. So it'll be between those three teams in the AFC Championship, and one of those three teams to represent them, obviously. On our side, the NFC, it's the 49ers, the Eagles, and the Cowboys in no order. I think two of those three teams will be in the NFC Championship, and obviously one of those teams will be in the Super Bowl, right? Now, if I was a betting man, I got the Ravens and either us or the Niners. And I'll be honest with you, not being biased, like I said, I'm not scared of the Eagles this year like I was last year. And I feel like Dak is rolling, Mike McCarthy is rolling, and we tired of getting spanked on by the 49ers that we ready. And I think that it'll be a close game, but I just think that Micah Parsons is going to have a real good game in the NFC Championship, rattle Brock Purdy. And remember what I said, what Brock Purdy coach is probably saying to him, just don't lose us the game. Micah Parsons' pressure is going to lose the game for the 49ers. So, in all, I mean, those four teams with the percentages, the best percentages of making it, they're not too off. I will put the Cowboys ahead of the Chiefs, but if you need two teams from each conference, I get it. And what I want to finish off this podcast with is no other than a story time. The inner life of a Cowboy fan who lives and works in the city of Philly, story time. So this is the Eagles played when they played the 49ers Sunday night, right? It was Sunday I think it was a 4 o'clock game. Now we all saw it. 49ers went in there and put them boys to bed, right? And mind you, I had no stress on Sunday because we played Thursday. It was a tough game, but we got the victory over the Seahawks. So all Sunday, I was chilling. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was chilling. And I'm like, all right, 4 o'clock, that's a good game. I'm like, it's actually a 1-1 because if the Eagles won, whatever, they already have the first place in the NFC. But the Niners took an L, and I ain't messing with the Niners, what they did to us a couple weeks ago. But if the Niners win, I can't wait to go to work on Monday, right? So I was at work when the game started, and all I saw was the Eagles driving down. I'm like, dang, man, the Eagles, they getting their stuff back together. And I just kept checking the ESPN app. I'm like, hold on. Touchdown. CMC, touchdown. IU. Whoa. Turnover. Oh, fumble. Jalen Hurts. Oh. What's going on? I finally get to the crib. When I got to the crib, that's when the BS happened between the Eagles security guard and the 49ers linebacker, which I think is totally BS. Because how does a scuffle result in the 49ers losing their Pro Bowl linebacker and the Eagles, oh yeah, y'all lose y'all security guard. That's not even. We lose our Pro Bowl linebacker and y'all lose a security guard? What sense does that make? But it is over. I'm over it. Right? So that happened, and then the 49ers kicked up on the Eagles, and Hurts got hurt. I'm like, oh, I ain't gonna lie. When Hurts went to the locker room, I'm like, oh, Hurts might have a concussion. He might not play next week. This might be easy dub for us, right? So I'm like, hold on now. We might go ahead and take the number 1 seed. But Hurts came back in. He finished the game. Respect to him for that. But the end result was 49ers whooping them, right? So I'm like, I can't wait to go to work on Monday because I know whenever the Cowboys lose, they on my head. Where Eric at? Hey, yo, what happened to the game? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, man, got my face. Whatever, though. So I get to work. And two different occasions. Number one, all I'm hearing is, yeah, we lost. But wait till we see them Cowboys. this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, y'all worried about us already? How about you lick your wounds and put a Band-Aid on? Wait a couple of days, let alone hours or minutes, before you start talking about us, right? So I'm just like, yo, why y'all worrying about us already, man? It's Monday. Well, we'll talk Wednesday. They're like, nah, man, that loss made us angry. We really gonna beat y'all now. I'm thinking to myself, like, listen, just because the 49ers beat up on y'all, don't think y'all gonna come out down in Dallas and gonna put the work on us. Now, it's a possibility they could, because the Eagles are good, but go ahead somewhere with that. So I couldn't even really, enjoy that Eagles loss because I'm outnumbered. If I say one little thing, they was like, what? But what happened when we played y'all? Oh yeah, the 49ers, they beat y'all too. And I'm like, but wait. The 49ers beat y'all in y'all house. The 49ers beat us in their house, right? The 49ers put up more points on y'all. Technically, the 49ers only put up 42 on us. They gave y'all 45 piece. So when it boils down to it, we a better team than y'all. That's what I said. And then the second occasion, part two of the story time. So I walk into lunch and, I'm scrolling on my phone. Now, obviously, he's an Eagle fan. And I see something like, yo, top 5 chances to win MVP. And then you know who they had number 1. They had that boy Dak. So I'm like, yeah. I tap my boy like, yo, look. You number 1, right? This man had the nerve to say, what? Ain't no way Dak is an MVP. And then look who he played. I'm thinking to myself like, so y'all bringing up look who he played, that scenario. But last year, Jalen Hurts, for the most of the season, you see the quarterbacks his team was going against, the defenses his team was going against, and y'all all said he was the MVP. But now tables have turned, and you're saying Dak shouldn't win MVP because of who he played? That's BS number 1. BS number 2, they came to me and said, oh yeah, well, Brock Purdy has a better QBR rating, so Brock should win MVP. I looked at him dead in his eye and said, explain to me what this QBR mean. And he couldn't. But he said it doesn't matter because he has a better stats or a better percentage than Dak. So I'm like, all right, that's BS lie number 2. And then I heard somewhere in the back in the peanut gallery, I heard somebody say, yo, they weren't even talking to me. I just heard it. Because when I hear that Dallas disrespect, my tingling start going on. Like, oh, what's that? What's back there? Who talking trash? Somebody had a nerve to say, yo, if Jalen Hurts beats Dallas twice, shouldn't he get MVP? Mind you, like I said, it wasn't even my conversation. I got to say, hold up. So you telling me for a quarterback to beat Dallas twice, that they automatically deserve the MVP because they beat Dallas twice? What are we talking about? So you telling me if Jalen Hurts beats Dallas twice, he should be MVP? F everything else. F the stats. F who's been playing the best against every team, not just against Dallas. Forget all that. If Jalen Hurts beats Dallas twice, he should win MVP. What sense does that make? And I looked at him dead in his eyes because I was mad at that point. I'm like, tell me what sense does that make? Because he beat Dallas twice, he should win MVP. He was like, well, I said, shut up. And that's the end of episode 2 of a day in the life of a Dallas Cowboy fan that lives and works in the city of Philly. If you like that content, go ahead and comment below. Who's your favorite Cowboy player, or who's your most hated Cowboy player? Also, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll drop episodes, more than one episode per week. We got to get ready for this weekend, and we got to make our picks. And hey, like I said, it's one day closer to that Dallas Cowboys Eagles game. But see you guys next time.